Good morning, everyone. So we are off again on another adventure. It's not quite so early this morning, it's about 7:30, so it's a bit more of a nicer time. We are going to head over to our favourite train station, Paddington, get the Heathrow Express, because we are off to New York. We're going to DroidCon NYC. Come along with me for the travel. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very excited. Let's go. So, as kind of it's becoming the tradition, we are of course going to go via the Heathrow Express. It's definitely my favourite way to get to the airport. So quick taxi ride for us to Paddington Station. Unfortunately, of course, because it is a little bit later in the morning, traffic was not so breezy as it was when we went to Chicago, but still a pretty quick and easy trip. And it's just a very stress-free way to start a journey like this, is hopping in a taxi and then taking a train. So we're going to head over to Paddington and let's get on our train. For once, we actually got dropped off at the taxi drop-off of Paddington, which is actually kind of upstairs from the rest of the station. Last time we got dropped off just outside, which I don't think they're really supposed to do. So this is where you're actually supposed to come or be dropped off from. And then we kind of made our way downstairs. Of course, the escalator going down was broken, but I only had my carry-on, so it wasn't really an issue. And we headed down into Paddington Station. It's now a good moment to kind of say that this is going to be filmed slightly differently from last time. I am now filming in 4K and have less image stabilisation on. I think it kind of made things a little bit weird on the last one. So do comment down below what you think about the video quality in this video. I'd be really interested to know what you think about it. But anyway, we are now in the main kind of train station really of Paddington Station. So we're going to cross over to where the trains are for the Heathrow Express. Again, I just love the fact that you can tap in and out. It's definitely the most expensive way. If you're far more organised than I am, please do book ahead because you'll save a lot of money. But for someone like me who has no idea what they're doing from minute to minute, tapping in just really made things much easier and meant we could just hop onto the train and get going over to Heathrow. Of course, one downside to the Heathrow Express is the fact that the train windows always seem to be just completely filthy. So actually getting any decent shots is very difficult to do. But here we are now leaving the station and heading over to Heathrow. Again, it only takes 15 minutes to get from Paddington to terminals 2 and 3, which is very impressive as far as I'm concerned. I'm not sponsored, of course, in no way, although if the Heathrow Express wants to sponsor me, I'm sure we can certainly talk, but not sponsored at all. I just really think it is the most comfortable and quickest way to get to Heathrow. Even if we're not really going to get any decent shots of getting there, unfortunately. But still, it wasn't long and we were pulling into the station. So of course, if you're going to Terminal 5, the Heathrow Express does also go there. It just takes a few more minutes because the Terminal 2 and 3 is the first station. So we got to Terminal 5 and all you have to do is then sort of disembark the train and tap back out again. It's just the same as if you were using the Underground or any of the other train services, which is really pretty cool. So from here, you can either take, I believe, an escalator or the lifts straight up to the kind of main departure check-in area. That's the word I'm looking for. And from here, I think we got a much better shot actually of the inside of the check-in area than we did last time. This was a bit more light this time. It was still quite dark when we arrived at some crazy hour, like 5:30 or whenever it was when we were going to Chicago. So as always, head over to one of the automatic check-in things. I haven't got any bags to check in. I'd already actually checked in online and kind of made my seat selection. So there wasn't really anything for me to do. They just have to do a passport check when you're flying to the US. So once we've done that, we've got our paper boarding pass. I don't really understand why they print this. I had it on my phone, but it prints you one when you do the passport check. But oh well. Anyway, we're going to head over to security and see what that's like this morning. I mean, there isn't a big queue. Not often the security can actually queue up all the way up to here where these kind of stuff is on the left here, but it seemed pretty good. It was quiet, so let's go check it out. Once again, security was actually really smooth. I don't know if I'm just having a lot of luck or if mornings are the time to travel. But we got through security and just having a look around some of the shops that are on the upper level. It's a bit strange really because it feels very disconnected from everything else because you have to go downstairs to get to the gates and that's where the rest of the stuff is. But both the restaurants that are up here are always so busy. So again, I have to reiterate, do go downstairs to eat if they are busy because there are so many more options available. So we're going to head downstairs and we're going to do just that. We're going to go back to the good old Wetherspoons because it's one of those things that I really think, you know, sets you up for the day, having a good big old breakfast. So I had my my fry up and orange juice. I don't know why they put ice in the orange juice, always a bit weird. But anyway, after that it was time to kind of find somewhere to chill out, to be honest, because I realised that once again we were way ahead of schedule. This is kind of the problem with Heathrow. It's either going to take you absolutely hours to get through, or you're going to be through within 15 minutes. So there's no in between. So you always have to plan for the worst because you don't want to miss your flight. And that means you have lots of extra time to mull about. And I guess, in a way, that's by design. They want you to go in the shops. They want you to have a look at all these things. That we're not going to do. So we're going to head over near the runway and kind of just take a seat for a bit. Watch the board until we see where we need to be. And watch some planes as well. A bit of plane spotting. Having a look at what's going on. It's always a nice way to relax for me. So we're about, I don't know, 30 minutes probably before boarding would start. It's time to head over to the actual gates. So again, we are at some of the gates that you have to go via train, or you can use the walking kind of route. I always take the train. It's quick, it's easy. So we're going to head down to the elevators that take us all the way down to the train, and then we're going to go see if we can find a train and catch one. Now, one thing that was a very strange, and I don't know if this was here last time or if this is new, but they had this projected woman on this like podium, so it looked like she was kind of floating and real and was here to give you advice and help. It was creepy. It was incredibly creepy. I don't know what's going on there. Very, very strange. But I did kind of miss a train because I was just staring at it for so long, trying to understand why it existed. So we did miss this train, but we hopped onto the next train. They come every few minutes. It's really not an issue. And yeah, we kind of get over to our gate area. Like I've said before, do make sure that you kind of only go over there when it's kind of nearing time for boarding, because there really isn't much to kind of look at or do at those gates. The main area is where everything is. So once we head up the escalators and we kind of go into the gate area, there are some shops. I didn't really show this last time, but I thought I would just show what is actually here. There's a little bit of duty free, there's a Smith's, and there's a coffee shop. So you're going to be able to get a snack or a coffee or a drink or something, but really the main kind of group of shops is in the main terminal, and certainly the restaurants and that sort of thing. So if you're looking for more of a meal, make sure you do that before you go to your gate. But yeah, if you forgot like some last minute bits and pieces, you probably can pick it up here as well. So it's not too much of an issue. It was also very quiet, which is nice. So if you are looking for a space that's a bit more peaceful, a bit more quiet, you're probably better off going to your gate, because that area is going to be less people about. They don't really encourage people to go there. So if you're the kind of person that wants maybe an hour before their flight just to relax, unwind and kind of forget about the world, I'd say the gate's a good place to go. I guess, you know, maybe this was down to luck, maybe this was down to the time of day, but with how BA have cancelled so many of their flights over the summer, I definitely think this is just how it has been across the summer. Now, of course, another perk of being down here is because of the design of the terminals, there's huge windows at either end looking out onto the runways. So you can actually get some really nice shots of planes taking off and landing. So I definitely spent a little bit of time doing this. This is one shot that I got. And I also spent some time kind of walking around the terminal and looking at the different planes that we could see from out the windows. It's a very big, airy space. I really like the design of Terminal 5. And there was definitely some good planes to be seen. Here we actually managed to get two A380s next to each other, which was kind of cool. Then with me plane spotting, I realised that actually we were nearly due for boarding, so it kind of filled up quickly. And then started the longest walk I've ever been on. At least it felt like it. It was incredibly long way out to the actual kind of jet bridge. I guess we were kind of on the corner of the terminal, and there was some of these extra buildings here kind of in the way, I guess. So we had to walk all the way down here. This is sped up 3 times, but it definitely felt like it was the longest walk of my life. I know it wasn't, but it really did feel that way. It was it was quite the stretch out to the plane, to be honest. But we did then get there and start boarding. And this plane had a very large business class section, I must admit, which is pretty cool to be able to see it again. This is definitely a goal of mine to fly in this cabin very soon. Unfortunately, that won't be something that work pays for. So it's for things like this video. If you can like and subscribe this video, if I can get enough interest, I'll be able to do more trips and be able to do stuff that the company won't pay for. So please do like and subscribe this video if you're enjoying my content. That would be amazing. But yeah, it was a large business. It was a very large business class. And then a small kind of premium economy, which, you know, that it's not bad. This was quite a new Boeing 777, so it was quite well fitted out. But of course, finally we were back into economy, where I will be sitting today. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a window seat. I do have an aisle seat in the middle, which you know, isn't too bad, but kind of was annoying to not get the takeoff shots. So now we're in a seat, we can take a look at the entertainment system. This is one of the newer models, definitely. You had a USB port and a USB-C port, which was quite nice. Legroom, nothing to speak home about. It was comfortable enough. I am 6 foot, you know, I wouldn't want to be much taller, but I fit in the seat comfortably. The screens, they were better than some of the planes I've been on, but they were very unresponsive. I don't know what it is about entertainment systems. It's the same with in-car systems. They just seem to be years behind the rest of the world in terms of technology. But that's just kind of, I guess, part of the experience, maybe. It's just a little frustrating, especially when these newer systems are only touchscreen. You don't have a remote control, so you are relying on that slightly finicky touchscreen. But there was a good range of content. There was a lot going on, and I decided to watch some Resident Alien, which was something I hadn't seen before. Once we're in the air, I thought I'd just show the tray as well. Just standard double fold tray, just about fits my slightly larger tummy. But it was good, it worked, it was all functional. Plane was in pretty good state, it was still quite new. The economy cabin is actually quite small because there's such a large business club. Now we are flying to JFK, so I assume this is quite a big business room, which is probably why it's fitted out this way. But I thought I'd have a quick look about the Wi-Fi services. This was something that a lot of people were particularly interested about in my last video, because BA does not give you free Wi-Fi, which seems very strange to me. You actually have to pay even just to be able to use the messaging. So they have 2 package types. You either have your browse and stream package, which is basically just internet in general, and that's £15 for the flight. Or you can use a messaging service, which just gives you instant messaging, and that's £5 for the flight. This is a real good example of when not to use internet. Switch off and enjoy the in-flight entertainment. As always, soon after takeoff, a drink and snack service came round with, of course, my favourite, the pretzels. And then, not long after that, it was actually time for our dinner service. I had a vegetable moussaka and some, you know, bread roll, cheese, the chocolate pot, some water. The moussaka itself actually was quite nice. I definitely enjoyed it. BA do pretty good with their food. course, now it's time for the loo review. It was sort of maybe 3 hours into the flight at this point, and I was pretty impressed this time round. I think generally speaking, it was pretty clean. There were some areas where I think some deep cleaning was definitely needed between trips, but it was being kept clean during the flight, so I was happy with that. But yeah, considering the age of this plane, this is starting to look quite worn down and definitely needed a bit of a deep clean. It was alright. So about an hour before landing, we had a final kind of snack, which was a kind of tomato and red pepper pastry thing. It was kind of like a sausage roll, but without the sausage bit, and instead this pastry, this tomato and red pepper stuff. It was okay. Nothing to write home about. It was alright. And then we were there. We'd landed. Unfortunately, of course, I didn't get any landing shots either because I was on the aisle seat. But going through Terminal 7 at JFK was really nice. That's BA's terminal. And it was very quiet. I have a US passport as well as a UK passport. And so going through the US line, it was very quick. I think I was through security within about 10 minutes. And most of that time was spent walking. So yeah, I was really happy with that. And hopped into a taxi and we were heading for Manhattan. We'll be staying right near the venue, which is by the One World Trade Center. So we kind of went along the bottom into the sort of southernmost tip of Manhattan, and got some really nice shots actually traveling along. It was a really nice day. It was kind of a good contrast, and seeing the New York skyline starting to come up was pretty damn cool. Before we know it, we were at the hotel, so it's time for our hotel review. Now, of course, we were in Manhattan, so the room was pretty small, but the bed, incredibly comfortable. We had kind of a bit of a view. I mean, the main view was of a parking lot, but you know what? It wasn't too bad. We were on the 5th floor, so we were quite low down, and it was certainly better than just having a brick wall in front of the window. You know, you had a little kind of desk area, a coffee machine, which was nice, so I could have coffee in my room. And everything was clean, possibly a little worn. I think, hello, it's me. That was my only kind of downside, was it was worn. Great thing about this is I am not doing this trip alone. I have some colleagues that are out here as well. So we're going to head over to their hotel and then we're going to grab some pizza. Now, the waiter messed up our order and actually bought us Chicago deep dish in New York, but still, it was delicious. And that is it. We are done for day one. Travel complete. It's been a good day. Actually, really not a bad flight at all, I must admit. It was smooth. That was the most important thing. There was not much stress. Easy through both airports. Really can't complain. So, really happy with that. I'm very full of pizza now. So, I'm going to get some sleep. And then tomorrow is day one of DroidCon New York City. I'm very excited. It's going to be a very good event. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, see you tomorrow, guys. Thanks again. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this video, if you do enjoy my content, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe. We're doing lots of travel vlogs and event vlogs and all those sorts of fun things, so please do go do that. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.